Community, Jesus pals, Christians. I trust you all to travel with me. Few expected the royal family's modest Vatican visit to go down in history. Behind those sacred walls, something incredible happened. Princess Charlotte received a centuries-old Bible from Pope Leo XIV discreetly. A modest, meaningful gesture without a blessing or explanation. What occurred next shocked Buckingham Palace and the Vatican. The child's innocent inquiry revealed ancient secrets, codes, and a royal mystery buried for generations. Not a basic gift. Divine challenge. Charlotte's response? This will stun you. Charlotte began her secret mission, murmurs of wonder, before their jet touched Rome. Friends assumed Prince William and Princess Catherine were just lighting candles on a journey. It was a private visit for the palace. London reporters stayed. But on a gentle spring morning, the Wales family entered the Apostolic Palace gates and into a story no adult could predict. Vatican aides guided William, Catherine, and their children, George in a neat coat, Louis holding his mother's hand, and Charlotte with morning eyes. Past marble saints and ruby carpets. A massive gold-trimmed door led to a chamber requiring great faith. Walls decorated with angels bearing sealed letters reflected sunlight. Famous for his quiet movements and few words, Pope Leo XIV waited behind a white chair. The Pope welcomed adults with polite nods and quiet Latin blessings. Cameras were banned, though 2 Swiss guards filmed for archives. He then faced Charlotte. He kneeled till their faces were level instead of kissing with his ring. The room froze, curiosity consuming every breath. He took a palm-sized ivory box with a crimson ribbon from his robe and gave it to her. His murmur was Parvulus Dedum, es videre mysterium. To kids, the mystery is revealed. Charlotte clutched the box like a child saving a shell. He received a quiet thanks. The conference continued. Talks of charity and education, but Charlotte studied her gift like it pulsed. The family stayed at the historic British ambassador's villa outside St. Peter's Dome that night. Charlotte left her room barefoot after supper while George made Lego structures and Louis slept. On marble floors, moonlight fell. Her little form glided towards a Vatican garden's side door, shuttered after dusk, without a guard noticing. Charlotte walks with purpose, as if following a music she hears alone, according to secret security tapes. She reached a bronze angel half hidden by ivy after passing orange trees and fountains. Opened the ivory box. The little Bible had gold-edged pages. An unknown sign, windrose, crown, on its leather cover. She turned to a ribbon page. One red ink line emerged, no verse. Start when quiet began. Charlotte whispered. Her lips formed each sentence despite the camera's silence. The angel's wings twitched, revealing a rolled parchment with 3 coats, the papal keys, the royal lion, and a third mark historians argue. Charlotte grabbed the scroll before it fell. Guards rushed. She grinned and said it was waiting. The parchment went to the Vatican's secret archive. It connected Rome, London, and a land missing from modern atlases via convoluted paths. The youngster started the trek. Pope Leo XIV told an assistant hours later. William saw Charlotte's dirty feet and sparkling eyes at daybreak. The book showed me her whisper. Catherine clasped his hand, feeling their daughter had become legend. Back in London, aides wondered how every garden lock survived. Guards said no alarm sounded. Why Charlotte? What drove her beyond bedtime stories into a crown-old riddle? After hearing the story at Windsor, the Queen murmured, it picks its own. Now, the Pope's mystery Bible gift to Charlotte changed everything. Why does the map point to her alone, and what power is inside? Stay updated. The mystery begins. Pope's surprising gift to Charlotte. Back at Windsor Castle, the hallways were strangely quiet. Rather than the royal quiet, something heavier. After returning from Rome, Princess Charlotte became unusually silent. Not shy or scared, just focused. The Pope's Bible was her constant companion, like a diary only she could read. At first, the palace attributed it to childhood amazement. The Pope's gift would amaze any child, but the servants sensed something odd. Charlotte studied the Bible, going to certain pages, scribbling symbols in the margins, and mumbling non-English or Latin sentences. Charlotte, a kid, requested to visit the royal archives 2 nights after their return. Most senior royals rarely do. Sir Malcolm Danvers, an archiver for 50 years, had never received such a request. May I see the 1762 Vatican visit pages? She inquired quietly, one arm holding the Bible. He blinks. Your Royal Highness, pardon me. The archives show when George III met the Roman envoy. She held up the Bible and said it's written here. Sir Malcolm initially thought it was harmless mimicking, the book said. Children sponge up adult phrases. He shuddered when he pulled the requested document, one long forgotten in the archive's lower chambers. Charlotte pointed to a parchment with a faded crescent-shaped stain in the margin. Nothing special until Charlotte placed her Bible next to it. The crescent exactly matched the Bible's back cover's curved etching. As they touched, the Bible's spine clicked quietly, revealing a hidden panel. Inside was a folded letter, signed 1762 by Pope Clement XIII, not Leo XIV. The letter foretold of a child from a dynasty of kings who would bring wisdom and ignite a dormant road between two thrones, spiritual and sovereign. She will not bear a crown, but will move those who do. What was once a sentimental present changed completely. A prophecy, Vatican precaution, or artful deception to deceive current royals. Next morning, King Charles heard. While the monarch did not comment, his associates observed a change. Charlotte was no longer the scrap granddaughter. She was watched for signals, not mischief. Rome and London whispers said that the Bible had originally been housed in the Vatican's vaults, which was even more unsettling. No one knew why Pope Leo XIV removed it or gave it to Charlotte. But Charlotte continued. She looked up from her cereal at breakfast and questioned her mother. What's buried beneath St. George's Chapel that no one talks about? No one mentioned the chapel. No adult spoke. She was aware of something. If the Bible disclosed one secret, what else could it hide? Pope Leo XIV chose Charlotte. Why? Is she the key to an old plan? Watch to find out. Pope chooses royal child, bloodlines, and benedictions. A pope has met a British royal before, but this was the first time he defied Vatican tradition to give a kid an old relic. A secret of Vatican provided no public comment, press release, or even a quiet clarification. However, those inside the palace knew what few outside would say. Charlotte was picked for her heritage, not her current self. Royal historians identified a second section in Windsor's archive paper that hadn't been translated in centuries. After the separation, the 20th king's third daughter was mentioned. It resembled biblical poetry at first, but royal genealogy revealed more. Charlotte, third child, granddaughter of King Charles III, was searched for by royal experts. Through Lady Diana Spencer, Charlotte's mother Catherine's pedigree includes Catholic House Stuart ancestors in Protestant England. Charlotte comes from a clandestine Reformation and Counter-Reformation lineage. In summary, Protestant crown, Catholic roots, bridge, key. Pope Leo XIV, who obsessed with repairing broken faiths, may have considered Charlotte as the final thread in a knotted tapestry. A pure-hearted boy without political ambition, but blood tied to centuries of throne-church conflict. Still, why now? Pope Leo has long felt the clergy will not lead the next great religious awakening, according to Vatican sources. Charlotte fit the pattern of innocent, powerless youngsters too well. Pope's advisors allegedly separated. Some argued against giving a youngster so much responsibility. Leo assured her she is not alone. Her book will guide her. What if it wasn't a book? Under the Bible's gold leaf margins, experts found tiny star imprints, not just ornamentation. Real constellations align with the night sky on November 20th, 1947, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's wedding day. Why would a 1700s Vatican Bible indicate a 20th century British royal wedding? Unless it wasn't only about Charlotte, and something has been quietly threading through the royal bloodline for years, waiting for a young enough person, pure enough to send its message. Charlotte may not wear a crown, but she has inherited a legacy before royalty. As the palace adjusted to this mystery's hushed weight, Charlotte made another move that froze her parents. One night, she imprisoned herself in the old royal chapel with the Bible, a Vatican scroll map, and a candle. Insiders think what she wrote in that chapel influenced King Charles's understanding of the situation. For the first time, even the Church of England wants answers because what followed didn't simply discover hidden books and forgotten scrolls. It roused something old the royal family never saw coming. So what could it be? Stay updated. Charlotte's shocking reaction to the Pope's Bible for days after returning from Rome. Princess Charlotte was quiet, interested, and exceptionally composed. The quiet broke one Sunday afternoon in St. James's Palace's Chapel Royal. What happened inside those old oak doors shocked everyone. From palace attendants to the Archbishop of Canterbury, a simple request started it. Charlotte requested an individual prayer session. Initial response: no. Royal kids don't have unsupervised chapel time. But she persisted. I won't interfere. She whispered to her nanny. The book requires quiet. Catherine gave in. A careful guard guarded the chapel door as Charlotte entered with the Bible under her arm. She entered barefoot, unsettling one attendant who remarked, she appeared like she wasn't simply praying. She was entering something ancient in worship. For about 40 minutes, nothing happened. The sound followed. A deep, constant hum, as if the stone walls were vibrating, replaced voices and footsteps. The guard raced in, expecting trouble. He discovered Charlotte kneeling at the altar with the Bible open and tears streaming down her face. Witnesses said the candle flames flickered together towards her. She looked up and uttered something unforgettable. He's waiting, not just watching. A royal chaplain was summoned immediately. Charlotte, pale but calm, gave him a folded note she wrote alone. The palace-sealed notes supposedly contained 4 Latin phrases her instructors had never given her, all from Rome's secret repository of strange Vatican documents. She knew them despite not being supposed to. That evening, Archbishop Welby was summoned to Windsor. A royal emergency meeting was held for spiritual investigation, not scandal or succession. Who told her? Who taught her? She knew these things how? Most importantly, what had the Pope started? William eventually spoke after remaining mute for most of the mystery. This goes beyond faith, he remarked. The heritage no coronation can carry down. Charlotte posed one question that night that sent shivers down everyone's spine. Why was I chosen over George? It wasn't envy, not a tantrum. It was much colder. Realization. She realized she was in the middle of something that bypassed birthright and straight to destiny. Re-examining the Bible that week revealed changes. Under the cover flap was a new symbol, a circle of stars around a flame. The Vatican confirmed the emblem belonged to a defunct order of protectors, thought to have disbanded in 1815, that guarded perilous predictions. The sign returned and chose her. Charlotte didn't lose control during her silent chapel collapse. In waking. After that, royal protocol changed. New security was given to her. Once reserved for the king, her name was mentioned. And the Bible? It was no longer a present. The artifact was locked up and inspected daily by royal historians and a Vatican official who visited without notice. What happens when a girl too young to rule guards something older than the crown? It's not only Charlotte's reading. How she used it matters. Stay close. The reply. Charlotte's reverent response was unexpected. After touching the little Bible in Rome, Princess Charlotte refused to keep it as a royal treasure. She handled it like infants hold sleeping birds, carefully, silently, detecting life in the pages. Pope Leo XIV chose her, a schoolgirl, to carry it home, regardless of the gold edging or secret code. Charlotte saw Leo as more than the global Catholic leader. To her young eyes, he was the first adult beyond her parents to see her hopes beyond the royal walls. When the gray-haired Pope bowed his knee and placed the ivory-bound book in her hands, witnesses saw a stillness over her face. Artists depict future monarchs with serene composure, no shock or timidity. News headlines debated dusty prophecies and buried scrolls at Windsor Castle. Charlotte disregarded the noise. She examined the gift to understand the Pope's quiet smile. She wrapped the Bible in delicate linen like a newborn, placed it on her bedside table, and requested her nanny to light a candle so it wouldn't feel alone. Staff were instructed to wash before approaching. A guard occasionally heard a faint thank you from her room as she turned the frail pages. Eventually, thanks became responses. Charlotte wrote small, crisp pencil letters like bedtime prayers, then official notes. An attendant realized she was writing to Pope Leo about what she was reading between the lines. One note said, "I observed kind phrases in the spine, Your Holiness." A public response never came. Swiss guards were seen twice slipping slender items into LC Windsor-tagged diplomatic packs. Princess spent pocket money on a brown notebook, copied passages by hand. She chose stories of young individuals God called early, Samuel hearing a voice in the night, David facing the giant, and Mary receiving an angel. Charlotte reads that Bible as if it were mailed to her alone across ages, according to a royal historian. She thanked the Pope inexpressibly. "I start in English and finish in Italian, but I want to repeat." In a Kensington Palace art class, Charlotte painted Leo XIV from memory. The photo was flawed. The nose tilted left, the robes were short, but her professors were shocked by her deep eyes. Soft and penetrating, like a protector of secrets. Charlotte said that the Pope started the myth when asked why she chose him. "He trusts me to complete." Not out of fear but curiosity, the royal palace has boosted its princess surveillance. Scholars, clergy, and even intelligence personnel scrutinize every news item. What power is in that child-sized Bible? Why does it orbit a girl losing baby teeth? Even seasoned courtiers privately say history is breathing anew. Because Charlotte guards both the gift and its giver. Page and person are intertwined in her thoughts. Intent and incorporated. That union, analysts say, may represent the first true link between Britain's monarchy and Rome's altar since Henry VIII. It is unclear if Charlotte will cross the bridge or simply commemorate it with stones for future generations. But each night, her bedside lamp burns low and the little Bible waits, its gold borders catching the flame like dawn on far ocean, ready for the next small hand to turn a page. Is Princess Charlotte's hidden destiny just beginning? Has something far older begun? Comment what you think. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.